understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
It's time to let us in. It's time for Abby's Window. What's up, everybody? Thank you all for joining us this evening. And we got to kick this thing off the right way. Obviously, there's no Abby's Window without Abby. So, hello, Abby. How are you today?
I'm awake.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We see that you're still at work. So,
Yeah.
again.
Pretty much gonna live here this week, actually. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully they have a bed for you and a pillow.
I actually said, since I don't have an assistant director anymore and I have a little bit of space where her desk was, I was just gonna bring in like an air mattress.
Hey.
And just start sleeping in my office. So.
Oh boy. Well, hopefully this next few minutes will help distract you and maybe some other people in our chat who maybe had a rough day at work or school or wherever. Hopefully this next little bit will help move your mind away from that.
I need it.
So let's shout out some people real quick and then we'll get going here. Jen Carter, KJ Carter, what's up? Chad Schrader, Tony, Jason Peace, Erase Your Mind. And speaking of Erase Your Mind, I want to show something real quick. There is the artwork that they won. So congrats to you. A nice frame, and that looks pretty good. So shout out to you. Sean Suslowitz, Big Dan, Dalton Riley, James Chadwick, Shane Loki, Annette Morris, Odin's Child, KLW, Christopher LaVenture. What's up? All right. So let's get going here. I guess the first thing, because these people now have something in common with Windham, unfortunately. Get your thoughts on some of the releases here. We don't have to go name by name because by now everyone knows the names, but I just wanted to get your reaction to the releases and what this may mean for some of the folks.
I think that sometimes we put too much fault on one individual and start to kind of blame one person. But I think this, while I do believe that he does make the final decisions on things, this is a collective failure. And there's only so long that you can stay stuck in the past and disconnected to your audience before you wake up one morning and realize that you don't have any fans left. Everybody can admit that Roman's doing a great job as a heel. Becky Lynch is awesome. Bianca Belair is awesome. The core people that they have are amazing, but they shouldn't be the only people that you have. And you can say this about lots of things. Look at the Carolina Panthers this weekend. They put so much stock into one particular person that when they're not there, they suck. So let's say you're left with only Roman and Charlotte and Becky, and God forbid something happens to Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say his leukemia comes back, or he gets ill, or there's some crazy other disease that the government's going to throw out at people. And he's not there. And you've pretty much fired everybody else. So then what are you going to do? You're writing yourself into a very, very potentially bad situation. I don't think they're too far gone. I think they can make some positive changes. But he needs to wake up and realize that this is not the Attitude Era anymore. This is not the 90s. It's not the 80s. Culture is different now. People enjoy different things and they expect different things. And if you think that your audience is going to forget what happened 10, 20 years ago so that you can recycle the same stories over and over again, you're going to be very sadly mistaken, because people who love and enjoy WWE have loved it and enjoyed it for decades. And they remember storylines. You're not giving the audience enough credit for how smart they are and how much they remember things. And, there's a lot of times that you're like, I think I've seen this before. Yeah, I've seen this before, right? So I think they're on a dangerous, slippery slope. And if they don't get their heads out of their asses and realize that this is 2021, almost 2022, and you have to run things a little differently, he's going to wake up one day and people are going to be like, WWE who? What are you? They're going to become the no-name, the no-name company, and someone else is going to overtake them very, very quickly.
I'm glad that you shared your thoughts. I wanted to get yours. Yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult. You need,
but it is a collective failure on, on the entire leadership team.
Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, one of the things about wrestling is not just the people that are chasing the title.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have other secondary and even third tier people to fill out your roster. And when you don't have that, you get the same matches over and over and over again.
Shining stars need supporting actors and actresses.
Exactly. And sometimes those supporting roles need to have a little bit of screen time too, so we don't get so tired of the main stars.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And obviously, it's like 6 degrees of Windham at this point. All things go back to Windham.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we've been getting some interaction between Cross and Windham on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, I think there was a GIF posted by Cross saying, I have a feeling I'll see you real soon or something like that. What do you make of that?
I don't know. I think everybody's really just grasping at straws at this point, trying to figure out what Wyndham's going to do next, because we all miss him so damn much. And, like he said himself, we've got to be patient. We don't have any patience anymore. We ran out of patience day 3 after his release. So, yeah, we're all chomping at the bit to see what he's going to come up with. I mean, it's definitely possible that if they both go to the same company, if they both decide to go wrestle somewhere else, that they could interact. It could have nothing to do with wrestling whatsoever. Could have something to do with the movie, or I don't know.
Yeah.
He could just mean it as, "Hey, I'll see you soon because I'm coming to Florida and we're going to hang out." I mean, it could be something as simple as that, but you know.
That's true. Well, let's. Speaking of movies, and then I'll go back to this. Did you see this?
Yes. I didn't know. I didn't watch it.
Now,
But I saw the tweet. Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I thought it was interesting that he liked and retweeted that.
I think it is, and it isn't.
Okay.
Obviously, we know that Jason and Wyndham are very good friends, and it could be as something as simple as he's supporting his friend, and what he's doing. Could he be involved in it? I don't know. I don't know. I think with Wyndham, you just never know.
Yeah.
He will always keep you on your toes.
Now, I was going to ask the question, does that look like him a little bit in the photo?
I don't know, maybe a little.
Because I'm looking at the arms, and I'm trying to see, and I think I see tattoos. I didn't know.
I don't know.
But interesting. And now I desperately want to see this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to see this movie now. Because that looks terrifying and interesting.
Well, he's a protege of the one and only Tom Savini, so it can't be that bad.
No, I'm listen, anything they do, I'm down for. So
yeah.
I'm there to watch it. That's just a given. I want to see Windham in movies so bad. Like,
I just want to see him in something.
Well, yeah, I want to see him in something, but I really want to see him in a movie. That would be so cool.
Yeah, I think there's definitely certain kinds of roles that would really suit him.
Like, what if you were a Hollywood exec and someone gave you a bunch of money to go out and get this guy named Windham Rotunda to be in your film? What kind of role would you put him in?
I think you'd have to start with, if you want him in your movie, you ask him what kind of role he wants to play. Because my knee-jerk reaction is, I want to write a cult leader Bray type character, because he nailed that every single time. And when he's in a role where he has a lot of preaching, teaching, monologues, he's going to excel at it. But you write your movie around him. He may have an idea that he can pitch to you, and you'd be like, wow. So if you know that you want him in your movie, that's where I would start. I would contact him and say, what kind of character do you want to play?
Let's say that he tells you, you know what? I want to be the next Michael Myers. I want to be the next Jason Voorhees.
Then you got to go out and get a really good team that knows what the hell they're doing. Then I'm going to go contact, crap, I don't even remember his name now. The dude that wrote and did the host. I'm going to go find him. And I'm going to say, hey, look, I've got Wyndham. He wants you to make him a serial killer. A horror classic villain. Write it for me. I'm much better at leading than doing, which is probably why I'm in the position that I'm in now. I'm much better at pushing people in the right direction than doing it myself.
Gotcha.
Because
Yeah, that
I know that somebody else is probably going to do it way better than I would.
that would be insane though if he were to jump into movies and you get this new like really just dope just horror icon.
If you think about it, who was the last big horror icon? It's been a while since we've had. I mean, because you've got Michael Myers, you've got Jason, you've got Freddy, you've got Chucky,
Candyman,
Pennywise.
Yes, I add Candyman in there.
But like
Pinhead.
But you have like your Mount Rushmore of, and nobody's really taken any of those spots in a long time. Because like I said, when you think of horror people, you've got Pennywise, Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, Chucky. Like those are my when people, somebody asks me, tell me the most common, horror, Ghostface. Yeah. That's it. I can't, I don't know that I would put Joker with that though. I mean, there's certainly elements to that character that lends itself to horror, but he belongs in an action movie. He's in a Batman movie. You know what I mean? Like he's too synonymous with Batman and Joker to really. I don't know that I would classify Joker as a horror icon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like this one though. Gosh, where Hannibal Lecter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But it's been a while since we've had this horror villain come out that's really just given the other ones a run for their money.
Right.
Like someone said, I think Ghostface was really the last one. And I think a lot of that is probably because in the past decade or so, like there's been a big turn towards paranormal things.
Yep.
And you can't really put a face on paranormal entities. I mean, you kind of can, you've got the Conjuring movies and Annabelle and all of that, but things kind of shifted so much more to the paranormal side of horror and away from the psychopath serial killer with a face. So I think it's time that we got another psychopathic serial killer horror movie.
I think so.
We've been dabbling with the paranormal for too long. Not to say that's not great, because it is. I love it. But it's time we need a really good movie monster to give them a run for their money. To rival Michael Myers.
I'd love to see it.
Me too. And I think he'd do a good job with it.
I do too. I think he'd do such an excellent job. And I know a lot of us, because of his character, always think about horror movies, but I think he'd be really good in a comedy.
Yeah.
Like I think he'd be great in that too, because
I think he'd be good in not necessarily a comedy, but like a psychological thriller. Like a Joker type character that is very happy-go-lucky, very, eccentric, a lot like Funhouse Bray, but they're also really creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a little dark and a little out there and a little weird and could, like, snap your neck with his bare fist. So I wouldn't mind seeing something like that too. It's just some kind of like a psychological, Pennywise type crazy psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think he could do just about anything. I really do. Because I think he can be a chameleon and just kind of morph into different characters. Sean Rousset saying, give me Wyndham and Dave Bautista in a movie.
A crazy version of Toy Man. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Big Dan saying, Jodie, what about Wyndham as the Hatchet Man? The plot is he's a wrestler who was released by an out of touch old man, and he hunts down the men who fired him in the proverbial Hatchet Man.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely could play on that a little bit. I mean, if you go back and look at all of these horror movie icons, they've all got some kind of really disturbed background and they're after a certain kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
What about if he did something kind of like a Butterfly Effect kind of movie?
I like that too. I like something that involves a lot of mind screwing.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
just.
Did you know that the ending of that movie originally was supposed to be different?
Yes, I've seen all of the deleted endings. Mm-hmm. I've seen every one. There's some messed up ones, I'll tell you that.
That alternate ending was, forgive my language, that alternate ending was fucked up.
Yes, it was.
Incredibly dark.
Yeah, that was.
I think it would have worked, though.
Yeah. Especially then. Especially then. Now. There's two endings, and that one is, yeah. If it's the one I'm thinking about with the baby, yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah. Very dark, very dark. If you haven't seen Butterfly Effect, folks, go check it out. It's a really good movie. Ashton Kutcher.
So good. It's one of my favorite movies. That and The Life of David Gale. That one's up there for me as far as mind games too.
Gotcha. Well, let's look at this other tweet that he put out. And this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was after the releases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he says, what do we do now? We wait for the right place. We wait for the right time. Then we turn Rome to ashes, groveling in the muck of avarice. I believe in you too. What is this about?
Obviously, we've heard something similar to that before. I forget what it was. My husband told me about where it came from. Some old wrestling thing. I don't remember. But what's even funnier is somebody replied to that and said, the line is wallowing, not groveling.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. And then he replied and said, almost seems like I did it on purpose, huh?
I saw that.
I just had to laugh because that's just, it's exactly what you would expect him to say.
Now, this, like some people are pointing out in the chat, this comes from a Jake the Snake promo.
Thank you. I knew it came from somewhere. I just couldn't remember what it was. My brain has evaporated.
So,
so I think, I don't know, in his own cryptic, very Wyndham-like way, he's just telling us to be patient. There's a right place. There's a right time. for him to do what he's got planned, and then he's going to set the world on fire, metaphorically speaking.
Hmm.
So I'm excited.
I am too. Jesse Callan, what's up?
And I think that last line, it could be a, I don't know, a node to everybody that's been saying on Twitter for the past, 6 months since July, that that we'll follow him anywhere, and we believe in him, and we're going to support him no matter where he goes. And I think that might be his way of saying that I believe you. That he believes in us as fans as much as we believe in him.
Could be a tease for him possibly showing up Saturday night.
I don't know.
Because I think, if done properly, which I don't doubt that it would be, he could go in and have a immediate program with one Malachi Black.
Yeah. He could. I don't know. It's just going on my gut. Like, I just don't feel like it's the right place for him. I don't know why. Where you just get that really nagging, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just my gut just tells me it's not the right place for him. If that's where he goes, great. We'll all follow him there and we'll be super excited. My gut just tells me it's not the right place for him. I don't know why. It's just one of those weird gut feelings. I don't know. I get why everybody's excited to see him, go over there, and because they're obviously WWE's biggest competition, and in a lot of ways they've exceeded WWE in some of the things that they're doing. I just knee-jerk gut reaction. I don't think it's the right place for him.
I can't argue with that. My main concern is I don't want him to become one of the shuffle, one that gets shuffled around, and I want to see him as much as we can, honestly. So I don't want it to be sporadic once he makes a decision wherever he ends up. I mean, even if he ends up in TV or movies or whatever, or whatever wrestling company, or does he just tour around? And that good point, Trex. He needs
Yeah.
the AEW.
Yeah. But, we are a little bit biased just because we see him as deserving of the spotlight. Doesn't mean that a company like AEW is going to see him as their CM Punk, or
Right.
They may not see him like that.
Yeah. Hunter saying, I think AEW has about 90 males. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I want him to do whatever he feels is right for him. If that's going there, great. If that's not and going somewhere else to wrestle, great. If that's acting, great. If that's not doing anything and taking some time to be with his family, or I don't know, like go to the Bahamas and get married. I don't know. Whatever he wants to do is going to be, whatever he does is going to be whatever he thinks is right. So We will be there until the wheels fall off and set on fire.
Don't know what's going on with my computer. It's starting to like do something funky. So if I end up getting kicked out, I apologize. I'll try to sign back on as soon as I can. So let's see here. Wyndham could possibly go between acting and part time at AEW or someplace else.
If they allow him to do that.
Yeah. Big Dan saying the thing is Wyndham and AEW are somewhat a fit because of his past relationship with Cody and the history between the Rotundas and the Muggins Wyndham family. Yes, that is very
true. And I get that, but just because something fits doesn't mean it's the right fit. Just because, you know, I can wear a 6-inch stiletto heel doesn't mean it's the best shoe that I'm going to wear to work. Just because it fits doesn't mean it's the best option.
Right. Hunter saying, question, does a wrestling company supposed to have 30 and 30? They can have as many as they want to have. I mean, as many as they can afford, honestly. It just comes down to, do you have enough time for all of those people?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to get adequate timing? Okay, so here's an interesting, this is a fun little question. Thank you, Alicia. This is a fun question. So I want to pose it this way. She's saying, again, let's say that he started his own wrestling promotion. What type of wrestler do you think he'd go after?
I don't know. Obviously I don't know him, so I don't know. Obviously he knows a lot about the wrestling business because it's in his family. It runs in his family, and I'm sure that he would have the adequate resources as far as knowledge base to do something like that. But I don't know if, how do I say this the right way? I don't want him behind the scenes calling the shots. I want him visible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not because I don't think he could do the job, because I think he could. But he is much more not valued, but he's so good in front of a camera that to not have him in front of a camera because he's become Mr. Businessman running a company would be a detriment to the company. Unless he was that kind of owner that wrestled all the time. But then it's kind of hard to run a company if you're out there wrestling every week. So,
yeah. What if he did a company where it was like all cinematic storylines, like out the wazoo, and it was all cinematic, and you know,
like kind of not rejects, but like all like off color characters.
Yeah.
Not your cookie cutter Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins kind of character. You know, people like Malachi Black and Karrion Kross, and yeah. I mean, I'd enjoy it, but like I said, I think unless he's going to be the kind of owner that would be in the ring as often as everybody else, I think that would be a detriment. The day that he stops wrestling for good is going to be very, very, very sad.
It is. It is going to be a sad day.
Even if he like the day that he just stops being in the public eye. I know it's annoying as hell sometimes, and I know he hates social media, and I'm sure sometimes he wishes that it would all just go away. um, and people would just leave him alone. But the day that he stops being accessible, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
in the public eye, it's gonna be a dark day.
Yeah. Deanna saying even if he doesn't wrestle, he's still a performer.
Yeah. So the day he stops being a performer, we're all gonna be really sad. The day that he says, you know what, I'm done. I'm retiring from everything. I've made more money than I could ever imagine to. I'm just gonna sit at home and enjoy my family for the rest of my life. And we never hear or see anything from him ever again. And I hope to God that never happens. But
Hopefully.
every road must come to an end at some point.
Yes. Yes. Hunter, let's see. I've heard that Tony Khan likes little guys and Vince likes big guys. Tony has more little guys and Vince has more big guys.
Everybody knows Vince likes big guys.
Yeah, he
That's,
likes the big beefy dudes.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that means TK likes little guys. I mean, TK is a little guy, so I would imagine him gravitating to certain kinds of people. I don't know.
I just think the business is far different now. And before you could have these big, gigantic dudes that look like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, that doesn't appeal.
Doesn't appeal to people as much as it used to. And yeah, the whole dynamic of things have changed. And I think Vince probably wants it to stay the way it was. And I don't know. I think in the beginning, AEW was probably a little bit more competitively focused. I think in the beginning, it was more about what can we do to make WWE look like trash. And I think at some point they realized they're kind of doing a good job of that on their own. They still take stabs every now and then, obviously, but I think now they're actually starting to focus on the talent that they have just being good and the product being good. Then we want to be good because we want to be better than them. Right. And I've never understood people that have been like that, you know, it doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be a competition. It doesn't have to be, you know, I have to beat you down because I have to be better. Or, you know, multiple companies can be doing the same thing and be equally good at it.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be competitive. YouTube is the same way. Like, you know, me and C Wrestling talk about the same things, but we're also the best of friends because it's not competitive. It's just he does his thing, I do my thing. We talk a lot with each other about the same things and we have a lot in common and it's just fun. And the day that it stops being fun for somebody and becomes more about being competitive, you should probably stop doing what you're doing because you have the wrong focus. Anyway.
More people listened.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, again, some people get territorial over things that don't belong to them, i.e., YouTube, the wrestling business.
Yeah.
You know, people just get territorial and it's ridiculous.
And I think in the end, people start to see that you know, people can tell when you enjoy what you're doing because you genuinely love it, or because you're trying to beat somebody else, or because you're trying to make money. Like people know when your heart's in it and when you're not. And YouTube is pretty good about, well, people who watch YouTube are normally pretty good about, they gravitate more to people who their heart's in it.
Right.
So, and I think that's one of the reasons why C Wrestling's been so successful, is because his heart's in it, and you can tell his heart's in it. I guess I'm a little bit biased because he's one of my best friends, but his heart's in it, and people can tell that. I think that's why we have the same people come back to watch us every week, because our heart's in it. We enjoy it. We love talking about Windham. Look, we've been talking. He hasn't even been seen anywhere since July, and we've spent the past 45 minutes talking about things that he could do.
Right.
So when your heart's in it, people know.
Exactly. Speaking of C Wrestling, he got a reply.
He did. I did send him a message after that and called him a lucky bastard.
So he said, imagine I'd annoy so many wrestling journalists. They'd want to know about Wyndham's Vince's relationship in the backstage scoops. I'll be asking what happened to Ramblin' Rabbit. And Wyndham simply replies, that's the way it should be.
Yep. And I think that's one of the great things about Windham is his heart is with the fans, and he knows the right time to, when we need to hear something from him, it's like he instinctively knows it. And, I could see him when he starts talking about things publicly. I absolutely could see him wanting to talk more to fans instead of going on, ESPN or, whatever kind of show and talking about it. I could absolutely see him picking some fan-made channels and, doing it his way to give back to us the most, because he's always been like that.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he's interacting, I love seeing him interacting.
Mm-hmm.
Just like randomly liking stuff, retweeting stuff, dropping a GIF on something. Different comments going up here.
Yeah. And he's right. That's how it should be.
Right.
Because we all want to know what's going to happen to Ramblin' Rabbit, right?
Oh, of course. Of course we want to know. And listen, we found out that he has a wife and a family.
Mm-hmm.
So. Oh, and I got to say this too. Deanna, shout out to you. I don't always say stuff on Twitter. These days, I try to avoid Twitter if I can, most times. But Deanna put in a plug for us.
Aww.
For him to come here.
That's sweet.
So I got to shout you out for that, Deanna, because, yeah, that was awesome of you to do. It was a reply to one of his tweets.
Oh.
And I thought that was really cool of her to do that. And she tagged us, and I think put the channel in there. I think, but that was awesome of you. And then she asked,
we definitely love to have him.
Exactly.
Yeah, we definitely love to have him on the channel. he knows that he's always welcome. I've told him that before, and so he's always welcome to come and chat with us. So
Yep. Odin Style saying he does a surprise drop in here. Maybe he is here lurking.
yeah, I don't know.
That would be awesome if he was just lurking,
I have a feeling he might be a little bit of a lurker, but I don't know. I think he probably sees a lot more than we give him credit for.
Yes. Sees, watches, and hears more than we probably give him credit for. So I apologize that I'm off camera right now. I'm probably not hurting anybody's feelings by not having to see my face, but I'm off camera right now. So Deanna's saying if that happened, Jodie would fall out. I can confirm, yes.
Yeah.
And she may not be the only one. Big
yes,
Dan.
I would be absolutely tongue-tied. It maybe have to be, it might have to be like a pre-recorded thing.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know that live I would be able to say much of anything. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Big Dan says if Windham ever came on Abby's, Jodie would be at. Yep.
Yeah.
Her reaction would surpass her reaction to his fast lane return.
I don't know. I think him winning the belt at Crown Jewel was probably my favorite one.
That was an awesome reaction. James Chadwick says, who knows? Could happen. Thunder Rosa pops into people's streams quite often, quite a bit.
She does.
I can confirm that. I've been in some streams before and she's popped in, so.
Why is everybody picking on me?
Right? She'll be okay. She just have to take a couple deep breaths and she'd be fine.
See, that's why I think I say it should probably be pre-recorded, because if I know it's coming, I have time to drink and hopefully loosen myself up a little bit. Whereas if it was a surprise popping in, hey, what's up? I'm here. Yes, I would. Yeah.
Well, even
be on my floor over here in my office.
Even Jesse's getting in on the act. She says, y'all have to pre-record it.
Yeah. Why is everybody picking on me?
This is good stuff. Oh my goodness, Clark Griswold. Yeah, at the lingerie. Yeah. I remember that scene.
Yep. Deanna says no, we want it raw. I don't know that I would be able to do that. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, we'd all be like, I would be a little bit flustered.
Yeah.
I would be a little bit flustered. Yes, Jesse, you all love Jodie, so that's right. It's all in good fun.
I know.
All in good fun.
And look, I'm smiling. It's like the first time I've smiled today.
See? So, the thing that we said at the beginning where, maybe this would exactly, Deanna, I wouldn't be able to talk. I'd be so what you're saying is well, I haven't said anything yet. Oh, my bad.
It would just be an hour of him talking. That's it.
Yep.
We'd just be sitting here like this. Uh-huh.
just ask them one question, and then that's it. Whoever out of any of us on this channel, we muster up one question between us and just let them go for an hour and a half.
Here, I got it. I got the perfect question.
Okay.
What would you like to say?
Ooh, that's it.
That's it. Then the mic is his for the rest of the hour. Because then I don't have to ask him anything else. I can just listen.
That would have to be an extended episode of like an hour and a half or more.
Story time with Windham.
There you go.
Yeah, so if you happen to watch this at some point, Windham, you're always welcome on our channel. Yeah. Story time with Windham.
All right. Well, my stuff is like really starting to spaz out right now, and we're very close to 7. And I don't want Jodie to be on the never-ending stream. So
at some point, I do have to go home.
Yes, you do. So, all right, Jodie, any last things you want to say before we get out of here?
Thank you for making me smile. It's been a very rough day. It's going to be a very rough week. I literally, when I say I'm going to be living at work, I'm literally going to be living at work. When I get up tomorrow morning, the next chance that I will have to go to sleep will be Thursday night. So, because I will be here from tomorrow night until Thursday night. So, yes, thank you for making me smile and making me feel a little bit better.
Well, good.
And please keep me in your thoughts and prayers that I can stay awake for that long.
We'll be sending you sending prayers up for you and positive energy and maybe some caffeine and all of that.
Pray for some calm patients, because right now they are like wild monkeys in a zoo. And I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love working with psych patients, but right now they are like on level 649. And I need them to come down to like a level 100.
There you go. There you go.
We've had some boxing matches in the past couple days, so bring that down a notch or 6.
We will send positive vibes your way. All right, folks. That's it. I apologize for my technology issues. I suck. I get it. But thank you all for joining us tonight. If you have not done so already, please subscribe. If you don't mind also dropping us a like on this video. It really helps us out. And
I'm going to finish that. Likes really help us out. Subscriptions really help us out. And you guys are awesome.
yes. Thank you guys. I'm sorry.